It's official. The Pelicans' new season kicks off on Wednesday as the team reports to training camp. And after an all-season where there's still a lot of questions left unanswered and a lot of roasting about some of the moves this team made, Joe Dumars sits down for the first press conference of the season and answers some of those questions. Here are some of the big takeaways from that presser inside this edition of Pelicans Digest. What's good with it, my people? It's Melz On The MIC. My apologies. I uploaded the wrong video earlier today, but I got the right one right now. And you're in the right place to be if you're here to check out, get the details of what's going on with the Pelicans, any analysis, rumors, reports, all that good stuff. You can find it right here on Pelicans Digest. So if you're part of the 70% that haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for, baby? Go hit that subscribe button. Like the video. Share this video with your fellow Bells fans, especially all my Pelicans/Saints fans. The Saints ain't got nothing for you to look forward to after that nonsense they pulled last night. So you might as well come on over here and get ready for the new season with the Pelicans, who are gearing up for training camp starting on Wednesday. And Joe Dumars had his first press conference of the day, and also earlier today, they announced the training camp roster for this upcoming training camp period. And no big names, nothing big surprise in there. You know, we discussed it all. All the two-way players are going to be there. Bryson McCollum, Trey Alexander, and so many more. Also, Dejounte Murray is planning to attend training camp as well. Jordan Poole is already there. Looney, everybody is expected to be there. So be on the lookout for that starting on Wednesday all the way through Sunday before the team takes off to Australia to start the preseason. But today, Joe Dumars had his first press conference to start the new season. Had a lot of questions. A lot of people had a lot of questions. It was about a 30-minute press conference. If you want to watch the whole thing, you can go watch that. But he answered a lot of questions about some of the moves the team made this offseason. He talked about the Jordan Poole trade and what inspired them to make that move. They also discussed some of the players that's going to be coming back from injury, and also some of the things that the team has done in the offseason to sort of make some changes with the franchise as far as the medical staff and all those other things. So we're going to get into detail about that in a minute. But first, one of the first questions and one of the first takeaways I got from this press conference with Joe Dumars today was questions about two of the foundational pieces of the Pelicans, Herb Jones and Trey Murphy. He was asked about their availability after their injuries last season, kept them out of a bunch of games. And at the end of the season, we really didn't know or have a timetable on when they were going to be coming back for the new season. So Joe Dumars put the questions to rest today, and he had this to say. He says that both Herb and Trey have been scrimmaging for the last 2 to 3 weeks nonstop. Those guys have been back on the court at full speed, and those guys have been fully cleared to go. It's no holds barred. So once again, that's exciting news to hear that on opening night, you're going to have Herb Jones and Trey Murphy, two pieces of the Pelicans' future core that are going to be sorely needed. Sorely needed, especially this season. I think this is a season where we see Trey Murphy ascending to all-star status, and it'll probably be a no-brainer that Herb Jones is going to get another first team all defense vote. So that's good to see. Exciting news to hear. Great stuff right there. Another player that people were talking about, of course, in the press conference, and a lot of people wanted answers to, was that about Zion Williamson, of course, the franchise player. Zion, of course, coming off another season where he just played 30 games. I think he could have played more, but he was held back by management. But Joe Dumars talked, and he's been talking all season about the great relationship he's had with Zion, the conversations that they had, and he expounded upon that today as well. He says that he told Zion that you don't get to be great and not responsible. It's not enough just to be talented. There is a difference between talent and great. Those are two different things. He's been great when he's talking about Zion Williamson. I have not had any issues with him, and I have seen him for the last month in and out of the facility really pushing himself hard. And another thing that he pointed out in that conversation and also in his interview, in his talk about Zion Williamson, is that Zion has been privately practicing with his teammates, not by himself, which is huge. He specifically mentioned Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. That he said that he's been working out with those guys, figuring out plays and spots and what each other's likes and dislikes are, which is great also to hear. That management didn't have to push these guys to get together and work out. You know, it's great to see that these guys are getting together on their own privately and working things out and figuring these things out, even off the clock. I don't even think you got to be in the facility to do that. Just be on the phone calling each other. That's a good start right there. So it's great to see. And Zion is going to be ready on opening night as well. So we got three of the core pieces that we need to get started on opening night already returning. Now, about some pieces that may not be returning. We're going to talk about Dejounte Murray and Derek Queen. There were questions were asked about their possible availability and their return. Dejounte Murray, of course, won't be back on opening night, and Queen, of course, is dealing with a wrist injury that he suffered in summer league. But according to Joe Dumars, he went on to say that Murray and Queen are deep into their rehab, but there is no specific date for either one of their returns. Queen can't do basketball stuff until his thumb heals, but Dumars pointed out that your legs ain't broken. Brought him to run until he's sick of it. And Dumars told Queen he wanted him to be the Pelicans version of Lance Armstrong. This is according to Crescent City Sports, which is hilarious to hear. But, of course, there's something that needed to be addressed because we saw him during the summer league struggling to get up and down the court and getting back on defense in a lot of situations. He was running very slow, keeping up with the pace of these NBA players. That was cool in college, but it ain't cool in the NBA, especially also when you have to consider what Joe Dumars is betting on you, man. This man gave up a first-round draft pick, and his team is getting roasted for that for Derek Queen. So, if you got to put that pressure on him. Like I said, I know you don't like to put a lot of pressure on rookies, but you got to put pressure on that rookie to get in shape, in game shape, and ready for the new season. So to hear him on that bike, fantastic to hear. But unfortunately, no Dejounte Murray, but hopefully Queen will probably be ready here in a couple of weeks after the season gets started. Also, another thing that was talked about, another big takeaway that I had from this press conference was the talk of expectations. They were asking a lot of questions about that, and that brings us to old Willie. Willie Green here. The expectations that Willie Green coached his team up and his coaching staff. Joe Dumars spoke about the expectations that he had. He said he met with them earlier this morning. Before the press conference even started, and laid out his expectations for the team. And here's what Joe had to say about the expectations for the team, because I'm kind of mixed on his answer. But here's what he had to say. He says, "I told them I'm not putting the number of wins on you because I don't know what that number is. I expect a team that is highly competitive, really deep, and plays hard every night. If we do that, the record will take care of itself, and we'll have enough wins to make us happy." I was kind of like, I don't like that answer. I don't like that answer. But then again, that could be I guess a management technique, if you will. To not put any pressure on these guys, because he says that Willie Green has been in his office every single day, talking basketball, talking X's and O's, checking in with him. And look, I would be too if I ain't had no contract next season. I'll be in the office every day too. What you need, boss? Well, how about them Lions? what we talking about? So yeah, of course he's going to be in the office every day. He was trying to get that contract. But at the same time, I don't like that answer. I want some expectations put on this team. I want some expectations. I want a definite number. I want 50 wins. I want a Joe Dumars to say, I want 50 wins. That would have made me happy. But again, I get what he's saying. Because one of the things he spoke about was having a team with depth, being 10, 11 deep, making sure that you don't have to rely on Zion, making sure that you have a bench and a backup core that can handle being on the floor and still be competitive when the starters go out. So yes, if that is what he's building, and you have backups that are ready to go every single night to fill in, then yes, those wins will take care of itself. So I get what he's saying. I just wasn't pleased with the answer too much. I want expectations, I'll play in playoffs, that kind of answer. But again, I get the answer that I get that sort of diplomatic type answer, so your coaching staff don't feel a whole lot of pressure. Don't go up in there screaming, y'all got to win 70 games this season. I get it. I can dig it. One more thing. One more big takeaway that I had from this press conference was this talk about the rookies. Of course, PV, Fears, and Queen. And something interesting that he said, he pointed out, was how all three have been in the office, have been practicing. He says Spears has been going so hard that they've had to stop him from going into the gym because he's wearing his legs out. I mean, that's good to hear that you got to slow the kids raring to go. And he says the same with Peavy and Queen. They both been around veterans, studying the veterans, and they have been paired with veterans that's going to help them work on their game. And I found that interesting. He says Spears is paired with Jordan Poole, Peavy is paired with Saddiq Bey, and Queen will be paired with Looney when Queen returns to the court. And again, I love that. I love to hear that, because on the one hand, if you get Spears and Poole working together on sort of a tandem duo type situation, that's going to work. But also I look at it from the perspective of not so much when they're on the court together, because I know they're going to work together on the court at some point in some ways, but also Poole showing Spears how to lead a second unit if it comes to that. And the same goes with Peavy and Bey. Even though I didn't know for starters Peavy was so big. I didn't know Peavy was 6'7". I didn't know he was that damn big. But I would have preferred Peavy be paired with Herb, to be honest with you. But I also see why he's pairing them with Saddiq Bey. Again, you could be pairing them up for a strong second unit that can work together with Bey and Peavy. The Queen and Looney situation, again, as much as I don't like Queen being set up for the 5 right now, there's nothing wrong with him working out with Looney right now, who's a championship veteran, the oldest guy on this team, that can still coach him up and show him some things on how to play the NBA 5. If this is what you want to play him at. I still argue that you need this season and this season only, you play him at the 4. But if you can pair him with Looney to let him learn the 5, I'm fine with that. Or how to be that sort of hybrid 4 or 5 and how to play the paint position. I'm with that. I'm not mad at that at all. So those are some of the big takeaways that I had from the Joe Dumars press conference earlier today. If you want to see the whole press conference, you can go check it out. It's on the Pelicans YouTube channel and stuff like that. But I feel good. I'm really excited about the season. I mean, it's all I got right now, especially with the Saints stinking so bad. What are your thoughts, though? What are your thoughts on the Pelicans' upcoming season? Do you feel good about the season? What are some things that you would like to see coming into training camp and coming out of training camp as the season gets ready to roll? Don't be part of the 70% that's watching and not subscribing. Get the latest information, updates, analysis, rumors, reports, anything that's going on with the New Orleans Pelicans. You can get it right here on Pelicans Digest. It's Melz talking about them Pels. Holler back at me in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and like this and share this video with your folks. And I'll catch you next time